So, I'm going to make a video in response to MikeLibertarian, and for the last time, because for obvious reasons you will see when I make the video. I will not be addressing this idiot anymore.
Really?
On YouTube, it's Krazie316. You know, I just got done watching MikeLibertarian's response to my genetics video, and I was severely disappointed.
Well now, isn't that curious? It would appear that you are not a man of your convictions. Possibly you are a man who speaks foolishness by making hasty declarations without any intention of standing behind your words. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, that's just so original. That's a good one. Would you like a cookie for that? I also think it's hilarious that these foolish morons cannot stay on topic. Every time you try to make an argument, these morons automatically jump to, oh, you're trying to justify the banning of same-sex marriage based on your Bible and your sky daddy and your invisible friend. Where? Where in my videos? Where? In my videos on the secular argument do I make an argument with the Bible whatsoever? Where? Please show me where.
Remember when President Bush was mocking reporters by looking for WMDs under a couch in the Oval Office? That's what your display reminds me of. Nevertheless, let's take a look at some of your footage from your so-called secular case against homosexuality.
On that note, unlike the animal kingdom, God has blessed us with spiritual gifts such as wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude or courage, knowledge, piety, and fear of the Lord.
Secular cases do not include any assertions that we get gifts or any of our talents from any deity, especially not the fear of any lord.
But unlike the rest of the animal kingdom, we are different than they are.
Likewise, the divine origins of these traits are exclusively claimed by religious activists who are making a case that humans are separate from the animal kingdom as their alleged God intended. This is not a secular concept. It is a biblical concept whether you actually cite your Bible or not.
First point this cat makes is in his video that the theory of evolution is real, is the real deal, while the Bible is a fairy tale that hasn't been proven, in lieu of the fact of several archaeological discoveries, fulfilled prophecies that are too complex to bullcrap.
Bullcrap indeed. Where are these so-called archaeological discoveries or fulfilled prophecies? Never mind that you don't cite any of them. Why are they even being mentioned in a so-called secular case?
Quick question. Why do we call it 2009 AD? Who was it that died that we're keeping the timeline record after his death again? Was that Christ? No, it couldn't have been.
No, not exactly. The year zero for the Gregorian calendar was calculated over 500 years after its alleged year zero event was supposed to have occurred. Additionally, not only do red herring fallacies not belong in any argument, the content of your red herring is biblical and does not belong in any secular argument.
He's a professional, huh? Yeah, you know what else professionals did? Professionals built the Titanic, but amateurs built the Ark.
Another of your biblically based arguments with no secular merit, more evidence that your assertion that you never use the Bible is a lie. Even if you avoided citing the Bible among your sources, it is clear that your case is religiously inspired and you have often made biblical arguments, none of which ever belongs in any secular case.
You're just a homophobe. You're just a bigot. The two definitions don't apply. Stop using them. Bigot involves intolerance. We do not have intolerance. We have disagreement. Learn the difference between the two. Get a dictionary. Go to dictionary.com. Hell, go to the library.
Another lie. Not only are you a bigot, I'm going to use your own words again to prove it.
Do I for 1 second look like I'm afraid of any homosexual or the lifestyle thereof? Absolutely not. Because, baby, I can hold my own.
You may not be afraid of a gay man personally, but it is obvious that you most certainly are afraid of what you call the gay lifestyle. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so openly and passionately opposed to it. If you are not afraid of something or its implications, you wouldn't care enough to actively seek its eradication as you are doing against homosexuality.
But homosexuals have enjoyed the rights to vote, to hold managerial positions, to sit anywhere on the bus they wanted to, so on and so forth. They do not like their options. Deal with it, get over it, have a civil union because your marriage is counterfeit. It's not a real marriage. You don't deserve that title. You deserve civil union. That's the bottom line.
The bottom line is you are a bigot. If you truly were as tolerant as you claim to be, you would not advocate the special exemption of one group from enjoying the same rights to health benefits, hospital visitation rights, immigration rights, adoption rights, and Social Security survivor benefits which you and your wife enjoy.
Homosexuals trying to slip their way into our schools and indoctrinate and brainwash our children with all kinds of bull crap. You think you've seen some angry parents? Wait until you try to come around my neighborhood. Because I know I'm going to raise some problems concerning this kind of nonsense coming in my schools. God, guns, guts, and glory. He can vouch for me on this one. We in the same boat right here.
Is that so? Well, let's take a look and see what's in that boat.
Children need a mother and a father. It's fact that children raised by a single parent are not going to have as good a development as ones with a mother and a father. Children raised by two like parents, that's just a complete abomination.
An abomination? Doesn't it say that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 18, among several other places in your Bible, which you claim to not be using in a secular case against homosexuality?
But few homosexuals, they keep coming up with these ridiculous, futile debates with me, excuses and whatnot. How can you argue that? Why does a homosexual behavior deserve special protection, which it doesn't even deserve in the first place?
They are not seeking special protection. They are seeking equal protection. You, a heterosexual, are allowed to marry the person you love with all the rights and benefits that come with such a union. Homosexuals are specially exempted from these rights and benefits and are seeking equal protection under the law to gain these rights, which you seek to deprive them of.
Our country becomes like Canada. I think we're going to be having a new civil war here pretty soon. We're at the verge right now. I guarantee you people are freaking taking up arms and are getting ready. I'm getting ready. So, hope you're ready.
So you are ready and willing to fight a bloody war in order to stop homosexuals from gaining equal protection of their rights under the law. The only way you could be a bigger bigot is if you gained more weight. Is there any way someone could prove to you how wrong you are, that we might prevent this war?
It's impossible, and science doesn't have enough lies or ability to ever perverse that fact. There aren't enough lies to convince me otherwise.
If no amount of contrary evidence can convince you that your beliefs are wrong, then not only are you a bigot, this is also a clear indicator that you are emotionally invested in a delusion.
Come into our schools, come into my children's schools with your so-called little agendas, your little tolerance acts. We'll see what happens. Not going to like it.
This is not going to happen to our children. I guarantee you it. There's going to be some problems, whether, I don't know, I'm not even going to list. I'm not going to list what's going to go down. We'll just see what happens.
A new civil war here. Taking up arms. The civil war is coming.
The full color clip of G4 was from one of his latest videos in which he has placed a thin veil over his once bold rhetoric in the wake of Krazie 316's assertion that they are not bigots. But G4 did not go back in his account and delete any of the videos in which he boldly professes his true beliefs. Thusly, his position is fully exposed. Furthermore, because Hubris 316 claims to be in the same boat as G4, his thinly veiled threats are now themselves fully exposed. As for his next video concerning homosexuality under the law, I am keenly interested in how Hubris 316 intends to make special pleading for the exemption of homosexuals from holding equal rights, benefits, and protections under the law. Liberty is the natural right of all human beings. In order to make your case against homosexuality under the law, Hubris 316, you must demonstrate why the law should exempt this group from the rights, benefits, and protections which you are able to enjoy. In order to do this, you must prove that granting them their liberty is mutually exclusive to your liberty, and considering that you are not one of the parties involved in a same-sex marriage, nor are they akin to serial killers, that is highly unlikely that you will ever be able to do so.